Julius, it's good to have you this morning.
Good to have you.
I'm hoping you're doing well. Oh, so we are trying to make sense of why government would want to decide to put a tax on an important essential product like a sanitary pad. Why?
Good morning to our cherished listeners and viewers. I think that as we all know, the pattern of taxation takes in two folds. Either you earn an income in the country through employment, whether you are self-employed, whether you have a business, or you are doing an investing activity, you pay income tax. And then again, the other leg is if you are consuming goods and services, that's a consumption tax. You pay a consumption tax or an indirect tax. But with the indirect tax, the mother of all indirect tax is value-added tax.
Okay.
So that is the generic. So if you are consuming a certain product in the country or services, government will charge you VAT on your goods. So that is why we are seeing some of these essential items or commodities being attracting, value-added tax on them, because that is a general law. But again, if we look at the position of the VAT Act, it has an exemption that, gives some exemption to certain goods and services so that it will not attract the VAT charge. We've also moved on. The government has passed the exemption bill. So now some of the products or services that are exempted do not qualify for VAT, so that government can also collect more money from the system. Now, we all know that the purposes to which these essential commodities are serving our women, our ladies, our young girls are very critical in nation building. I mean, this is about their reproductive health. So I believe that it's about stakeholder consultation. I believe that the companies that were dealing in these products, the sales or the manufacturing of these sanitary pads, could have engaged government a bit more, so that when government is looking at the next tax policy, they would either reduce the tax rate for them or give them some form of exemption or relief, so that it will not go and add out onto the cost of these essential items, so that the ultimate bearer is going to be our ladies, our women, our mothers who are buying these sanitary pads to help them with their reproductive health or reproductive cycle. So as it stands now, there's a VAT charge on sanitary pads. It used to be 12.5%. Now VAT has been increased to 15%. So there's that 15% on it. Again, the companies that are producing this, sanitary pads are also being taxed a corporate tax rate, because they are making an income as a result of the sales of the sanitary pads. So they are also paying between 20% to 25%. So these are the things that is affecting that space. But it means that, those selling, the companies that are producing, they are in that industry, that sector, helping our mothers and our women, our young girls. At least they should come together, get people, some consultants, and then help them, stakeholder meeting with the Ministry of Finance, engage the finance minister. Then together, they might consider some form of relief for them or some exemption for them, so that the cost can come down, and then our ladies can even purchase the sanitary pads at a lower price or at a reduced price, which is really serving that purpose. It's really helping them because it's about their health. So that is just about it in that area of essential commodities or essential items that is serving our women in the country.
Chief, before we end the conversation, the government does not classify this as an essential goods, but it classifies them as finished goods. As finished goods. It falls under the category of finished goods that are being imported into the country.
Right.
If you look at the HS code of the Ghana Revenue Authority, that's what it stipulates. Now, what I'm trying to make sense is whether, as government, they do not see that this is an important product for our women, seeing that there are so many advocates who are petitioned, government and other state agencies to ensure that the price of this product and the taxes on them are removed. Can it not be classified as an essential commodity? See how important it is.
I think that in terms of the classification, I mean, when you look at the sanitary part, we will see it as an essential health item. But on the other breath, somebody will see it as a little bit luxury because the person had not really looked at the impact that is serving our women. So the classification might be at the discretion of, let's say, the Commissioner General or the GRA, who perhaps they thought that, because it's an imported item, it stands to be part of that first category, where they see it as a little of luxury. It is not a luxury, it's a necessity. So I believe that when the discussions are advanced, then explanations are given. They would begin to look at it as a necessity instead of a luxury. Then they begin to look at it as an essential item, which is very critical to our women. But you see, when they are forming a tax policy, and then people who are operating within that space are not maybe given opportunity to, join the discussion or contribute to the tax formulation, or even written papers, formal papers to the ministry, that these are things that are really impacting our businesses. We can have a clear case with Guta AGI. You see periodically when there's a tax handle, a particular tax type in the system, they begin to come out, they begin to question government about the impact. When they are increasing VAT on spare parts, you see they will come out that is really going to impact on their business. I believe a bit more of activism for businesses and the companies operating in the sanitary part space, importing it, should a little bit be doing more talking about it as they are, talking about going to demonstrate or something like that. These are things that are healthy, because once they do that, they will get the attention of government, and then government begin to sit at the table with them and really look at the impact about that particular commodity. Then, the amendment will follow. But if they leave it idle, they really don't talk about it, they don't get experts to help them, involve them in the whole process, and they will just embark that demonstration and they just leave it there. I believe there should be follow-up after the demonstration. You get experts to do proper write-up for you, proper drafting for you, so that perhaps we are just mid-year budget is around the corner, which is July. Government can consider this and probably amend it, and then what they are really seeking for, they are going to get it. So I believe it's a simple process, but it begins with the talk. It begins with the discussion. As the media, you've also thrown more light on it. I believe government will be listening. Government is going to take a critical look about it, because sometimes when you introduce the tax, it is not only about the revenue generation side, but equity, fairness. Is it a case that if we are importing, it is going to have an impact on our economy itself, because we are dealing with our currency issues? We don't want to be importing more things. We want to be producing them. Is it a case that government can look at building entrepreneurs, helping business with capital to go into the production of sanitary parts in the country against importing it directly into the country, which have other impact on the economy as well? So once they do that, the discussions will evolve, and the government can bring in a proper policy in the area of, this sanitary part, where the country will win, the women too will win, in the sense that they are going to get it at a cheaper price or a cheaper cost, which will go in the long run in helping their health. And that is what we all want, that our women are healthy. A healthy individual builds, a healthy or a wealthy nation. So that is what we want. But it begins with a talk, it begins with a discussion. It's not in isolation. If you leave it, there are so many things that government is going through. Government is worrying itself about. So if you don't start the talk, the negotiations, the engagement with government, let government know that this is what is serving in society. And as a result, government can begin to pay some attention. I do not have any doubt that once those discussions are advanced, government is going to pay a key critical attention to such, an important or a necessity like sanitary pads in serving our women. But as it stands now, we haven't seen something like that. So I believe that is a step in the right direction, which is going to help. And I believe government will pay attention to them.
Julius, well, thank you for joining us this morning with these thoughts.